Bonjour, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? Today is Tuesday. As you all know, we have a date. We have a rendezvous, as you know, French people say. We are here once again to be able to share with you and have an amazing time by discussing something, a topic that is very mandatory. My name is GRACIA, SUSUZANDE, your host. And besides me, I have an amazing guest who is going to introduce himself just in a minute. But what I would like you to do, please, can you share? Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, there's a link when it comes to when it's on YouTube and also on Facebook. Take it, share it to your friends in order to create a massive, big audience. We cannot do it without you because you are the real star, honestly, in the show. So, should I give you just a couple of seconds? Yeah. Couple of seconds in order for you to go do what you gotta do, be comfortable, yeah, grab a popcorn if you need to, and come back to us in order to continue the show and introduce my guest team. See you soon. We are back, and I'm so happy. We are happy to have you, my guest, and I'm quickly going to introduce him. His name is, of course, it's Mag. I always call him Mo. No. Mag Yusaf, of course, but I always call him Mo. He is a bubbly, happy, energetic, and all kinds of words that you can add into it. But he's the founder of an amazing model company, Unique Models UK. And I'm so happy to have you. How you doing?
I am good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really happy to have you, honestly, because you are so busy, and trying to get you on, my platform is. Yeah, trying to have your mic with you, although they're not gonna hear what you're saying.
Sorry about
right?
that.
Yeah,
You gotta hear what I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That's why I'm here.
Oh, that deep voice just came out. All right, so today we are going to discuss a topic, and you all know, like this month we're talking about love in all shapes, love in all angles, love, because honestly, love is what makes the world go around, right? It conquers everything. It does so many things. And last time we even spoke how love can heal wounds. But today we're talking about love, but in a really different context. We want to talk about dating. Dating in that context. But before we enter in a subject, how would you like, the viewers to describe you, or how would you describe yourself?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Tough question. Being the shy, retiring type that I am.
Shy. Okay.
It's difficult for me to talk about myself, but I'll give it a go.
Yes.
Well, I'm a believer that life is about what you want it to be, and I live my life that way. And I try to spread joy and happiness wherever I go, and I believe that it's in our hands. If you want to have a good day, make it so, and that's how I've always lived my life.
Yeah.
As you said, I run a model agency. It's called Unique Models, London based, and we've been running for a few years. I'm also a coach, a trainer, a sales trainer as well, and I do a lot of time doing life coaching as well. So that's my life. That's who I am. I'm a mixture of many cultures
Oh,
and
we
many
are going to
lives, and
dig on this
we'll talk
one
about later.
because
Yeah, I'm sure.
yes,
But yeah, that's what makes me who I am.
yeah,
And I suppose the reason why I'm here is that we've talked in the past
yes,
about relationships and how the advice I try and give people in my life and how I've tried to help people at difficult times, going through relationship problems.
yeah,
And I suppose that's why I'm here today. And hopefully,
exactly.
some of my experiences and some of the things I've experienced in my life and seen and learnt from, hopefully we can share that today with everyone. And somewhere in there, someone might find something that will help them.
Exactly, and that is what Etincelle is all about. Etincelle simply means sparkle. We're trying to bring that sparkle into someone's life, regardless of where you find yourself in the world, whether it's Asia, Africa, Australia. Honestly, tap into the show because you don't know what you may, come out with. Honestly, even if you find yourself in a blurry place, in a place where you can't seem to really understand, sometimes when you listen to someone speaking, that may give you the key that you need in order to come out of that zone and finally, walk through the light. Honestly,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did I just sound like an angel?
you did. You are
A
an
little
angel.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're all angels.
So quickly, how would you define love in your own way?
For me, love is a feeling that you have for it can not necessarily a human being, but normally a human being, where they are more important than you are. Their happiness means more than your happiness. And when you get to that point in your life when everything is about that person, everything is about making sure that they are healthy, happy, and even to the point where you love someone so much that you're not right for them. And you know that you're not right for them.
Yeah.
And you're able to back away because you love them, not because of your own selfish needs, but because of their needs. And that's when you know you really love someone, I think. Yeah.
I like that because everyone has their own definition anyway. When it comes to love, they can't seem to, let go.
Yeah.
Because you just said right now, you can love someone so hard, but be able to back up. But not everyone are able to back up because they just feel like I'm losing really someone that I truly love. And
well, people have needs, and when you follow a need, it's a different type of love. It's more of and it becomes a feeling that you have to fulfill. It's when you hear people who say, I need a drink before I have a good time, or I need to take a drug before I can relax.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of needs, but they think this love. They love drink, they love the drugs, they love this, and they can love a person because that person makes them feel great. But that's a need. Yeah.
It's not
love.
It's not love.
Yeah. And that's,
someone told me actually about need and want. Can you explain that?
I did tell you about that, yes.
It was him. Yes.
I think the way I used to always describe it is that the time when you're ready for a good relationship, when you're really in a healthy place in your life, and you find someone and you think, this is the person and I want to spend the rest of my life with that person, it's got to be when you want to be with them and not when you need to be with them.
Yeah.
Too many relationships are built on need. When
Yes.
you lean on somebody, and what happens is you rely on that person to support you, to lift you, and their emotion, their happiness lifts you up, or their joy brings joy to your life. But as soon as they move away, you fall over.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for somebody else to do that again. And you spend that whole life.
Keep on doing that ups and downs.
Exactly, but what I want people to do is stand like this, solid on their own feet, don't needing anyone. And then wanting someone is different.
Yeah.
Because then you find someone who also can stand by you, side by side, at an equal level. And that's when good relationships work, and that's when love really thrives.
It's so many things that we really want from for our people, especially when you're living in a world that has so many I'll say negative things that's going on, and it sometimes feel like the negative is taking over the positive. And so when you have that in you, this positive thing, you want it to shine, you want people to be in certain ways. So when it comes to dating, I believe dating is something that brings two people together. but that is me saying, what about you?
Yeah,
What do you
absolutely.
think? What is really dating for you?
Well, dating is still, how are you going to meet someone? You need to date. So that's just the way the world is now. And it's easier now than it's ever been.
Why is it so easy?
Well, you have an app for it now. You can just swipe
Yeah.
right or swipe left, and off you
Yes.
go. It's so easy. However, when I was young, shy, innocent, and,
You were shy and innocent.
yeah, I still am.
We need to talk about this. we
I just
need
hide
to
it
talk
really
about
well. I
this.
hide it
Yes.
really well.
Yes.
And you had to go and talk to a girl. If you saw someone you like, you had to really go up to her and say, "Hi, this is me, and I'd like to take you out."
Yeah.
Not just send a message. Because if you think about it, you send a message, you can take your time, to create something nice and funny or interesting, or I've heard of people just literally pasting stuff from other comments and using
Oh
that in
my
their
God.
lines and creating this.
And create something. Yes.
But it's fake.
Like a poem. Like you don't
Yeah.
know how to create a poem, so you just take.
Indeed, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
From
And it's
Google.
for me, it's that face to face, having that sort of conversation is real, and so it's more important.
Do you think like when it comes, I mean, because you just said things are fast now.
Yeah.
Back in the day things were a little bit slower, where like
She's doing it again. She's making me feel old. Back in the day.
yeah, no, sorry, we really need to like talk about the past, the present, and the future. So yeah, when it comes to like back in the day, not talk about you, right? So things were a little bit more slower, as we know anyway, because
Yeah.
you just mentioned internet. But how was it really? I mean,
I wouldn't say it was slower. It was different.
Okay.
Because what used to happen was people would want to get to know each other, and the only way you get to know each other was by you had to meet them. You had to go and sit next to someone, buy them a drink, buy them some dinner,
And talk.
and talk.
Yeah.
And get to know each other. It wasn't as easy as finding their profile, looking at reading their past, going back through hundreds of pictures on their Instagram to
Yeah.
see what kind of places they've been to, what
Yes.
they've done in their lives, and judging someone on what they've posted.
the outside.
Yeah, because I think people forget is people choose what they post. It's not by accident, So they're only going to show their best bits, aren't they? If
They'll
they're
never
sensible.
they will never show the wrong
If they're
side.
sensible.
Yes.
I know some people like that. But it makes sense. You're advertising yourself, basically. So everyone's become almost a commodity.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sell yourself on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, on TikTok now. And it's just the way that people market themselves now into the world to try and get likes and people to follow them or whatever. But for relationships, it's different.
Yeah.
And that needs to be the real person, the person that's in there, and not this facade. And we can all be actors. We can all pretend to be somebody
Absolutely.
else.
Yes.
But that only lasts for so long. And as soon as that mask falls off,
Pause, that's it.
then the real person comes out, and you realize you might have spent a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of your life with somebody, and
That you
wasn't-
barely
and
know.
that wasn't the person that's inside. And when he comes out, that's not you, love. So that's where we are now. So it's harder in a way to know the real person because people can fake it easier, but it's easier to get to meet people.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah, so there's swings and roundabouts with everything. Modern technology allows us to do a lot of great stuff, and I'm a firm believer that we should use it and embrace it, but be safe, protected. Understand, that it is people doing things aren't necessarily always telling
The truth.
Yes. And what are their intentions is different, and those are the kind of things but that hasn't changed. When you meet someone in a bar 15, 20 years ago, you didn't know his intentions.
Exactly.
If I was meeting in a bar and offered you buy a drink and sounded really nice and made you laugh, you still don't know my intentions at that point. Yeah. So you just,
I'm still going to be wondering who you are.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of that level of protection and that kind of self-preservation. I still teach that to the girls I talk to now. I still talk to them about going on dates and having some sort of exit strategy, and things like that, and be safe, be aware of your surroundings, all that kind of stuff. So I was talking about that 20 years ago. I'm talking about it now.
So see, you just mentioned yourself in the past, but hey, so talking about your job, like what you do day to day, how did you was it a dream that something that you always wanted to do? What is really the background when it comes to your job, and how did you fall into becoming the founder of Unique Models UK?
That's interesting story. A friend of mine was a fashion designer, and so I went to one of her fashion shows many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago now. And she had one model for me that stood out from all the others. All the other
Yeah.
models were fairly straight, normal Eastern European, slim size 8 models and so on. And they're all pretty gorgeous models, but there was one that was slightly different. She was a bit shorter. She was more curvy, but she had a presence about her that I noticed. And afterwards, when I talked to my friend, I said to her, I really noticed this one model, and her work ethic was great, and so on and so on. And we got talking. This girl's name was Nana, and she was saying how hard it was for her to find work.
Yes.
Because she wasn't the normal type
Short
of
and curvy.
Yeah. So we started talking about forming an agency, and then with her, we started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work out. She was a very young girl, going through some troubles and so on in her life, and she lost her life at 26.
Oh, my goodness.
And so that obviously stopped me in my tracks at that time.
Okay.
So many years passed. I left it alone. And then a couple of years ago, through a friend, I met a photographer who inspired me to start again. And I've met some great people now, Casey, and some partners there.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people. And we've started again. Obviously, lockdown was difficult. Being a marketing company agency, it's difficult. But we're now, running, and we've got some great people, including yourself.
Including myself.
Yes, some beautiful ladies and some great-looking guys as well in our team. And we're all just one big family. And we're very different in that we don't want to treat our models like a number. We have a smaller amount of models that we work with. We coach, we help, we guide as well. We protect them. We make sure that wherever they go, we've vetted the place they're going to and so on. That they're safe and everything's good for them. So that's our philosophy, to give these girls a safe environment. We don't want them to be used and abused and treated badly.
Because this industry is quite tricky.
Yeah, they get taken advantage of. Girls want to be famous, girls want to be models, and that's kind of a big thing at the moment. And there's lots of people that take advantage of that. So we're trying to protect them.
In what way, if you may describe?
Yeah. Well, right now I could put an advert and say, I want some models to come and do a photo shoot for me. And they call it TFP, which basically means that they work for nothing.
Wow.
But they get the photographs.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'll probably get 50 or 60 applicants easily that are willing to do this. And they'll travel on their own expense. They'll come to wherever I tell them to be.
Yeah.
They'll put on the clothes I give them to wear. And they'll stand in the cold sometimes, in the wet sometimes, for hours for me to take as many photographs
as you want.
And then that's it. And I choose to sell these pictures for hundreds of pounds or whatever I want to do.
And you keep the money.
And off they go, And it's and there are other reasons why some guys photograph girls, which are not about money, but worse reasons in a way. And that happens a lot as well. And it's something that we just want to stop. We're telling all the girls, you don't go unless you at least get your expenses, at least you get something for it. And if you book through an agency, you'll find that the kind of people that approach agencies are legitimate. A person that would just literally approach a model directly, there's that lack of protection there. So that's why we wanted to form that kind of middle ground where there's that just little barrier of protection for everyone that works through us. So that's what we're trying to do.
I like that. So, and it shows that you really got passion for what you do. And then how am I going to ask this question? So, would you be able to back up this time? If there's anything, would you?
Would I be
able to back up as you did like the first time? This young lady unfortunately passed away, but like, the stage of where you are now because of the love that you have for the work that you do and for this. If anything happens right now, would you back up?
No, no, we're at a place now where we've gone a long way down the line, and a lot of people rely on us now. So the business isn't about me anymore. It's about many, many people. So it's stopped being just my little hobby. It's now, a company that many people are invested in and have made investment in. So yeah, I have to make sure they're all looked after.
Absolutely. So going back to dating. Let's rewind a little bit. I just feel like when it comes to dating, there's two individuals coming together, right? You mentioned it. They're talking, and in order for them to get to know each other. But besides them getting to know each other before they even come together, they have different characters, different ways of doing things. And then if we had to look in their own individual, we'll see two amazing pillars behind them, which are basically parents. And sometimes, unfortunately, certain things cannot always go as we want, because some children have lost their parents. Some children have gone through situation really difficult, and they had to upbring themselves, which is really difficult. But would you say that the reason why certain things, certain dates, or even certain relationship don't go forward is maybe because of them two pillars? They maybe either they were lacking, or either like they basically didn't give that child the right education?
It could be. I mean, parent support is obviously a wonderful thing. And children are blessed if they've got two supportive parents looking after them. But it doesn't always happen. And I don't think it's a good enough excuse to blame a lack of parent. I grew up mostly with a mother looking after me on her own for most of my life. And didn't have a father figure in my life, so you kind of spend a few years in your youth trying to look for a father figure, and then you kind of realize that you don't need that. I had a mother who was a father and a mother.
And a mother, both of them.
She did the job, and we brought ourselves up really, but we knew the rules, we knew the morals, we knew ethics, we understand right and wrong, and we, from watching someone work so hard, gives you that work ethic. I work, and I'll always work. I've worked since I was 7 years old. You do that because that's what you see in your family. But it doesn't matter how you brought up. You still have a choice, I believe, to be decent, right. Well, everybody knows. You don't need to be taught it by a parent to know what's right and wrong, to behave well and not to behave well. You grow up, you see it.
I
think nowadays, in particular, parents remotely bring up their children. It's very different. It's not hands-on anymore. It's very much more the school does some of the work, and they leave other people to almost do it. The internet is where
you got nannies.
Nannies, exactly. So, but that doesn't mean that we've got bad children. We've got children that grew up in different ways, but there's still some really decent kids out there, living great lives, changing the world, making a difference, and having great relationships. I meet 16, 17-year-olds that in loving relationships now. And I think, wow, wonderful, that's great. And, and I just wish, 40 years down the line, 50 years, still be together. And that's what we hope for.
Of course.
And that's really the thing now. I think, it's nice to have that support of parents, but, I said, now in this world that we live in, it's not necessary.
I had this mother who we had a conversation with, and she through that conversation she made me understand that that in her relationship with her husband, or not just even just her, but it's like, because it was really a massive conversation with her and other females, young and old, and all ages basically. And for that conversation, it seems like one of the girls said, you can only give what you have. If you don't have, if you've never had love in your life, it's difficult for you to give love only because, well, you never had it. And so it's like certain females are, they fell in love with this man obviously the outside is so beautiful, and then things that they, you know, presenting to you so admiring, and you're like, no, this is the man I want to be with, this is the man I want to stay with. But unfortunately, when you enter in this union with this men, you understand that actually there's no affection, there's no love, there is nothing of really what he presented to me in the first place. So, and then turns out that basically their parent, like, he never saw, you know, his parent and showing love to each other. I mean, you know, and this is what he took from it, and that's what he was implementing and replicating in his own union. What would you say about that?
No, I understand that, and I think it's a fair point. If you've seen it, it's so much easier. You know, to see, you know, if you grew up in a family where you've had loving parents showing affection, you know, hugging you and bringing you up in the right way of showing love, it's so much easier to follow that path, because it's normality. It's what you see, and that's what you want to be. You know, and if you're in an abusive family where, you know, the father and the mother are fighting all the time, although you don't like it when it's there, and all children say, oh yes, I used to hate it, but then you watch them grow up and they become like that.
Yeah.
And it's because it's in the back of their mind, the subconscious has made it normal for them, and it's where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's that comfort you have to change sometimes. It's recognizing is the hardest thing, you know, and we all...
It is very difficult.
We can't look in the mirror always and see what's wrong with us, what needs changing, you know, and it's something that you have to sometimes. You have to sometimes just understand that we all are always learning, we're always changing, we're always developing, the world is always changing, and we have to change with it. And it's only when you recognize, you know, what you're good at and what you need work at, you know, it's not something you're bad at, it's just something you need working on.
Exactly.
And once you recognize that, then it makes life a little bit easier as well, I think. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to give you a short little break. Please don't go anywhere, because we're so much more to discover. Yeah, don't go, don't switch off. Honestly, stay connected, as we are going to touch culture, religion, just a little bit, and trying to see really where is this dating situation going forward to, you know? Anyway, so see you soon in a minute.
Ciao.
Bel et bien de retour. We are back with my amazing guest, Mac, and I like your name. Don't take it the wrong way. It's like there's this company, foundation called Mac.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Do you know why?
It's
mine. Very, I know. Just to clarify, you know, someone may think like
talking to you from the Bahamas.
Yes, Bahamas, for sure. So, I would like you, please, to define yourself in terms of your background.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at you. You have this milky chocolate situation here, a little bit more fairy than me, but it's like, there is something here. What is your background?
Okay. Well, I'm mixed in many ways. I was born in East Africa, in Kenya, and we spent some time in Uganda. My grandparents, great-grandparents, probably moved to East Africa many, many years ago. Married an African lady,
Oh, wow.
which was shunned at that time. So
Oh wow, Shanti.
yeah, he was not popular with the rest of the family. But he followed love, fell in love, and
Oh dear.
married an African lady. So
Yeah.
there's a part African in me,
Yeah.
part Indian, part Pakistani, part Persian. So there's a whole mixture
Yeah.
of human beings that created
Like
this thing
this
that
thing
you see
here,
in
right
front of
there.
us.
Yes.
We moved to England when I was very young, and my father died in Africa, so my mother had to bring us up alone, me and
Yeah.
my sister, and we came here because we had family here, and obviously being a widow, it was much easier
Yeah.
life here than in Africa. And yeah, and that was it. I started my life here, and you know, as I said, started working and
Yeah.
studying and becoming this person
Who you are.
who I am. And
Smart, always smart. Oh, you.
I'm in
And
my work clothes.
yeah, literally every single time I see him, he is dressed like this. I have never seen him with a t-shirt, and I don't know how I'll
This
feel
is
the
how I go
day.
swimming.
You go swimming like this. Nice. Beautiful. I mean, the reason why I asked for his background is because when it comes to dating, you know, it touches so many cultures, and we have we're talking about, you know, African culture, European culture, you know, African American. There is so many culture out there, and each and every single one of them follows some kind of rules and regulation, and if you break it, then there's a problem. Even when it comes to my background as well, there's a lot of things to follow, and even though there's freedom of finding your own, of say soulmates or whatever, there is still rules and regulations.
Of course, yeah.
So what about you when it comes to your background and?
Well, growing up, it was being in a Muslim family, much stricter. You know, you weren't really allowed to date at all. It was just not the
So
thing.
no
No dates. You literally got married. That was what was expected. And
But how do you date without I mean, how do you get married without dating?
well, most people would go through an arranged marriage.
Okay.
And that was when your parents basically would introduce you to somebody.
To someone, yeah.
Yeah. So you literally meet the girl. She'd bring you a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you'd look at her and decide, yeah, that's the one.
That's the one I want to marry.
For the rest of my life. And the first time you get to speak to her was on your wedding day normally.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So it was a little bit tougher.
Yes.
But the philosophy behind it, I suppose the thinking about it was a time when it wasn't two individuals getting together. It was families getting together. So the marriage wasn't about love or two people. It was always about families connecting. And the reason why they worked, I suppose, is that if, for instance, you fell in love with someone and you bring him home and you bring him home to your parents, and no parent will ever think he's good enough for you.
No parents.
Yeah, he's not good enough for you.
Yeah.
But you'll still go off and say, no, mum, dad, this is the guy I want to marry. But for the rest of your life with that person, if there's ever a mistake, if there's ever an argument, they're going to back you.
Yeah.
And they can say, we told you that guy was no good for you. You just leave him and you come back home and you come back to us. So an argument ends up with your side pulling you away and his side pulling him away. Yeah. Whereas in the Muslim culture, the idea was that, if, say, for instance, you were my daughter and I picked your husband.
Yeah.
If you have an argument, I'm going to blame you. Because I picked that guy. There's nothing wrong with him.
Oh, my goodness.
What have you done wrong?
Yeah.
So I'm pushing you back.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
His family chose you. So they're saying, hang on, there's nothing wrong with GRACIA.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Yeah.
I'm pushing you back. You go sort that thing out. So they end up pushing people together rather than pulling people apart.
Okay.
So if you look at the statistics, they last. Yeah.
They do. I actually have checked that. And
they
most of the time,
better than most Western process marriages where you fall in love and meet someone. And the reason they last, I think, is because of that. Plus, people make a commitment to the marriage, and they look at a bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's not just the attraction or the physical attraction, the physical things, or the short-term joy that we get out of relationships. You know, it is a long-term commitment to marriage.
So, if we need to compare, like, that way of dating, meaning the parent are the one choosing, or this contextual dating that we are having right now, where you can swipe left and do whatever you want, right? Which one would you choose?
Oh, honey. What kind of question is that?
Which one would
I
you
didn't know
choose?
you were grilling me like this, like.
Where would you find yourself at ease and say, you know what, okay, you know what, this is it, and I'd rather pick my woman myself and live with the consequences with it, or
Yeah.
let the
I
parent
think
choose.
you get through life. So at the stage I am in my life now, I know who I am. I know me as a human being better than anybody else. So I suppose it's easier now for me to make a judgment.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 18, 19, you don't know yourself. You know, you don't really know what's right for you and what's wrong for you. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to let
Yeah.
other people help you make decisions. You know, again, I give people example. If you're a small child
Yeah.
and you're sick, and I bring you some medicine that doesn't taste very nice, you're not gonna. If I just say to you, "Would you like to take it?"
You
Say,
say no, of course
way.
not.
I'm not going to take that
Of
medicine.
course
Yeah.
not. Yes.
And I know you need it because if I don't give it to you, you're going to get really sick.
Yes.
So there are times when I have to make you have that medicine. You don't want it, but it's the right thing for us to do as a parent or as guardian or whatever. So I think in life we go through stages where there's times in your life when you need guidance, you need help, you need someone to push you or take you in a different direction. I'm not at that stage now in my life. I you know, so yes, now if I would want to meet someone, and of course I'd want to get to know them, and I'd want
Because
them
you're
to,
mature enough in
yeah, and
order
I'd want
to
them
make
to
that
get to know
decision.
me, of course. But people who lead sheltered lives and you know don't have that experience and not able to communicate and not able to express themselves and not able to understand what a relationship really is,
Yeah.
because like you said earlier, people haven't seen it sometimes. You know, they've not seen a relationship, so they don't know what they're looking for really.
Yes.
And that's what's missing, I think. You know, I know what I want now to make me happy, and I suppose it's easier for me now.
Exactly.
But if you asked me the same question 20 years ago,
It will be difficult.
it would have
you
been a
know.
different question, probably a different answer, maybe. Yeah, but certainly now, yes, my life is in a different place.
So just to let you guys know that the line is open. The line is open, so feel free to really call if you want to call, right? If you want to voice out whatever you have it in your throat is right here, and you feel like, hey, I want to say something. And when it comes to that, you agree or you disagree. It's always important to add up something, because in order for us to elaborate it a little more, so if you want to text, we will definitely check all the messages, you know, on the line. So please do stay connected. Right. Okay. So let's continue. I like the subject because this is it's really crucial. Dating leads two people into marriage, and if you find yourself or you follow the wrong foundation, I say not even follow the wrong foundation, but you really base yourself in the wrong foundation in terms of just money or just, you know, materialistic or just the
or
outside
physical.
bit or the physical.
A lot of it's physical
It
these days.
really going to set your marriage on fire, and that is just slowly but surely until it dies completely. So my question to you today is like, how early can two people really start dating, or how late? Because the reason why I'm saying this is because I watched this documentary of this young lady who was forced into marriage quite young, very young. And so the thing is that she ran away.
Yeah.
She managed to run away, and she had to cut tie with her family, which is something that she never wanted in the first place. She was too young to unplug herself from the family. But the thing is, like any other girls from her villages had to go through that. And then they interviewed the father and the mother of this young girl, which I saw the marriage happening and stuff. And then the parents were saying how like they didn't want the little girl to bring shame into the family, and this is why they rever her going into this marriage. What do you think of that?
It's terrible, and it's still happening. It's really sad that parents think more about their reputation or their standing in the society, rather than the happiness of their children. And it's sad that we're still living in this world where that happens. But that's a cultural thing. It's not a religious thing. It's just culture, and it's lack of education, lack of understanding that we're in this world, that we still have that. And it's very sad. And I think over time it will disappear.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think even now, again, we talked earlier about how modern technology is changing.
It's going fast, yes.
And the nice thing about it is that it's allowing people to see things that they never saw before. So I'll give you an example. If you have always lived in a mud hut with no running water and no electricity, that doesn't mean you're unhappy. You live a great life. And I've been to African villages and I've met some amazingly happy people, and we would look at them and think, God, they have nothing. But to them, they've got everything. They're really happy. But it's when you start seeing, the internet allows you to see other things. It allows you to see parts of the world. It allows you to see how other people live and how other things can happen. And then that gives you aspiration. That gives you hope. That gives you inspiration to change things. And there's lots of children now out there that are now more educated, more learned, understand that this is not acceptable. They have a choice. They have ways that they can do things. And I think that's what's changing now.
We're just going to give you a short little break. We're coming back just in a minute. Please do not go anywhere. So we are back, and I really like the question, the answer that you just gave. But according to you, really, what is can I say, is there even a number of age that you can start dating? Because we're talking about maturity, we were talking about, two people coming together in order for them to get to know each other, and finally, by God's grace, entering in this union that is for a lifetime.
Yes.
Right. So, and I just feel like, because certain things are going so fast, and so we're not taking enough time to really get to know us, and we want to get to know another person, and abandon us or forgetting about us in this union. Is a specific age that you feel like,
I don't think so. I think the hardest thing now is that children are so much under pressure now to date, to have a boyfriend, to be in relationships. And
where's the pressure even coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from peers. It's coming from the social media. It's coming from everywhere. If you're 13, 14 years old, they expect you to have a boyfriend, or a girlfriend that's at that age now. And it's expected. And if you haven't got one, there's something wrong with you. And you're made to feel that there's something wrong with you. And that's the problem. There's so much pressure on young children now to be in relationships. They're not real relationships. We know that. But for them, they mean the world. And there's children out there that are depressed and on drugs, or worst case, they commit suicide because of it, because they have broken hearts at such early ages. And I think it's very sad that we have that pressure on these young children, and they're not allowed to be children.
I think can parents do something on that?
Of course, yeah. I think that's the key, to allow your child to understand that it's not wrong to be a child, to play and make it acceptable, and make them strong enough to do what they want to do rather than what they feel other people want them to do. I think that's when you're a good parent, when you've given your child some strength to stand up and say, no, if I want to play on my bike rather than go on TikTok, that's what I want to do. So let me do it. I don't need to be there. I don't need to get 400 likes. It's not important for me. I want to do this. And it's fine if they want to choose to do that. That's fine too. But I think that the way it should be is let children be children for as long as possible. Allow them to play, have fun, make mistakes, fall over, do all the things that children do. And then when they're ready, the time will be right. They'll know, when it's right, when they feel comfortable, when they feel in themselves that I can go out with somebody and spend some time with them without any pressure. You're not forced to do it; you just want to do it.
Yeah,
Because it's the same thing
it
as an
is.
arranged marriage. If I have an arranged marriage for a 16-year-old girl, it's almost the same as putting people under so much pressure that at 16 years old we have to date, and you have to have sex at 16. Girls are put under pressure by guys all the time. So it's the same kind of thing, but in a different way.
Yeah.
The end result and the end goal is different, but the pressure is the same.
What can we do different in order to stop the wrong things for it to happen? I mean, we try and every day. I like this quote where Michael Jackson says, the men in the mirror. I mean, we're looking at every day ourselves in the mirror, and when we're brushing, whether we are doing our makeups, and so you look at this image, and that image bounces back to you. But I feel like sometimes we're not honest enough even to ourselves, in a sense. But we're trying.
I read something
Yeah.
once, and I'll have to try and remember it. My apologies if I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But it was something like, when you're young, you want to change the world. You want to change the world. But as you get older, you realize that what you need to do is change yourself.
Okay.
And that's, I think, what that man in the mirror was trying to say is, if you want to fix something, you've got to start here.
With you.
We've got to make a difference, and each individual human being, has an effect on everyone they meet. And I think that's when you realize the power that we will have in us. I really believe in the ripple effect. And I joke with guys and people, me. I'll send you some silly video in the morning, where I'm singing and laughing in a car or something crazy. But I do that every day. And the way I look at it is, I don't get road rage because I'm having a good time in my car, and I don't care if somebody cuts me up or overtakes me or flashes. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. And my smile, is there. And if I make the next person smile, and then they make the next person smile, and they make the next person smile, guess what? That's going to spread around the world. And we all have that duty. We all have that responsibility and that power to change the world. And we do it with ourselves. And if we do that, then we'll all be happy people. And if we're happy people, we'll meet another happy person, and we'll have great relationships. We'll have great love, because we're two people that are just happy and want to make each other happy.
Exactly.
It's a great thing, isn't it?
It is a great thing. So Etincelle is all about, sparkle and bringing light into someone's life, perhaps within your own life, own journey. Have you ever encountered a situation just like this, or whereby you really were in a place where, it was absolutely dark, according to dating anyway, and you couldn't find the answer, but something came up, whether it was a friend, whether it was just, I don't know, according to your belief, for example, you could talk about Allah, who helped you in order to come out of it and finally find yourself in a better place. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, of course. Everyone has dark times in their lives, and I think, if we all go back to a time when we feel heartbroken, someone leaves us, someone we thought was really special to us, and they hurt you in some way, they leave you, and your heart is broken, and you're there, you're feeling as low, and you look at yourself and you just see all the faults, everything wrong with you, and that's quite hard to get out of. But I think that's the time when you need to dig deep, and you need to look back at your life and understand what made you who you are.
Exactly.
And really search for the good, for the light in you. And you need friends sometimes to get yourself out of that. And the most important thing is to be honest and talk to people and tell people how you feel. And if you do that, I think you can get yourself out of that. For me, it was, it's obviously, I've had good relationships, bad relationships, and you learn from them, and you have to, and you move on. What you don't do is dwell and go back into that day in, day out. The worst thing you can do is look at your life in the past and remind yourself of all the bad stuff, because that becomes your future then.
Because you're not really focused on what you need to. Yeah, that's the wrong
Yeah,
focus
yeah.
right there.
If you look back, look at the successes always. Look back at your good stuff. Yeah, because that will then become your future. Yeah, and make your future bright.
I like that. So let's go back to the business.
Okay.
Right? So you've been the founder of Unique Models UK. So greetings to all the girls
Hey,
and all
girls.
the
And
males
the
out
boys.
there and the boys, right? And then all the them great people who are making unique models being,
Yeah.
unique models. So what is your plans for the future according to that?
Yeah, well, we're moving forward. We've got lots of big plans, particularly for next year now. Next year is going to be hopefully our big year. We'll break into more of the fashion shows. We want to have representation at British Fashion Week in February and September. That's our big goal, And as I said earlier, we want to have a place where, all our models, male and female, feel safe, protected. We want to get them work. We want to make sure they're employed. We make sure they're earning a good living out of what
Yeah.
they're doing. And but feel happy and safe, and that's what we're looking to do. So we're not, I talk to myself as a motivational speaker, but I always think to myself, so many of them are so wealthy. I think, well, I've been doing this.
Yeah, they have
I've been doing it all
money.
my life, and giving my advice to my friends and people I know for free. But I feel wealthy with that. My joy is when I see someone I've given help to and doing great, and I get fulfillment out of that. So we've never said we're about the money in our business. It's always about making sure that we sleep well at night. We look after the people we work with, and yeah, we'll be successful because me and my partners, they're all hardworking, they're great people, and of course we'll be successful. But our main goal is get the right people, make them work for you happy, and then guess what? The job becomes easy.
As long there's love floating.
Love you're gonna love what you
Oh
do.
wow, you gotta love what you do, and then I'm surely that I love what I do on Etincelle by bringing, amazing people such as you. Mac, it was an amazing pleasure to have you on Etincelle, and with everything that we really covered when it comes to dating in our context. We touched so many points, essential points, I believe, that can, help in individuals, around the world, whether you're in Africa, as long as you can listen to English, right? You can hear what we're saying. It can definitely impact you in a way. As long as you take what is right for you, you try to balance it and move forward. Honestly, this is what Etincelle is all about, and I'm so happy that you were able to connect and be so many. I believe that anyway. I believe that there's so many of you out there. Thank you so much once again, and hopefully we will see you again on Etincelle.
Yeah.
It will be my pleasure to work on maybe one of the models. You never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you for everyone for watching, and I hope somewhere in there there was a word that somebody picked out and thought, hey, that might help. Yeah.
There you go. It was GRACIA, SUSUZANDE, and see you next week, Tuesday. Mwah. Bye-bye.